Hi, I'm Nancy McCroskey, and I'm head of ceramics at Indiana-Purdue University, Fort Wayne. I'm pleased to introduce to you an exhibition of ceramics work by Doug Baldwin. This show is titled The Great Duck Wood-Fired School, and it was debuted at IPFW in September 2008. Doug was my first ceramics teacher when I was a student at the Maryland Institute College of Art. Doug has been a friend and mentor to me for many years. While you view this show, I will share some thoughts with you on Doug as a teacher, artist, and mentor. If we are lucky, we have the experience of learning from a few great teachers in our life. Doug Baldwin was one of those teachers for me. In 1974, I had my first ceramics class with Doug at the Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore. Ceramics was taught in two old attached row houses behind the main art building. The creative energy and artistic output taking place in this rundown building was exciting. Ceramics students seemed to be having the most fun. Doug showed me a few basics like how to use the clay mixer, but gave no assignments. While he was very hands-off, we were not working in a vacuum. We were exposed to contemporary ceramics, had visiting artists, and we interacted with ceramic students from other schools. Doug let me explore my own ideas and would step in with technical advice when needed. He believed that technique was best learned when it served our ideas. As students, we had group projects such as a competition with the Corcoran School of Art to make the best cup. I worked with two other students and made a giant teacup with the idea that we would float down the Potomac. We managed to float the teacup for a videotaping, but as the wood armature of the teacup was covered with paper mache, it didn't last very long in the water. With Doug, we worked hard and played hard. We invested ourselves into our fun together as much as we did our art. In fact, some of our best creations may have been while having fun. Doug was interested in a broad understanding of the visual arts, that is, sculpture, printmaking, drawing, ceramics, and art history. I believe this contributed to an experimental approach to art because we pulled from inside and outside the ceramics tradition. What stands out in my mind was his positive, personal teaching style and an inspirational commitment to his art. Doug's signature image, the duck, was developed a few years before I became his student. Artist satire, a recurring theme in his work, was realized early on when he put a duck head on a mold-made image of Gainsborough's The Blue Boy. The vain and supercilious Blue Boy with an army-helmeted duck head is revealed to be just one of the ducks in the Army. I saw many wonderful duck sculptures combining molded and handmade parts, and even managed to acquire a few that he donated to the annual ceramics fundraiser. Doug gave so much of himself to the program. After a trip to Greece in the 1970s, Doug's work further evolved away from the use of molds to entirely handmade imagery. Doug says he, quote, came to the realization that teaching allows me the luxury of not having to sell my work. I can create what I want, not what the market tells me to make. The Maryland Institute, where Doug taught, has always allowed me a certain degree of freedom, and they have a commitment to letting me do what I believe in, unquote. So when he returned to Baltimore, he threw out old work, molds, and magazines, and began only creating work that came from within. During my time at Maryland, Doug made wonderful tableaus and serial narratives about his experiences as a ceramics teacher. The Great Duck Ceramics School from 1976 is about a 4-foot by 4-foot sculpture of a ceramic school in miniature. Seemingly hundreds of little duck students, teachers, and staff occupy this school. Many humorous insights into academia are revealed in the Great Duck School, such as separate rooms for craft and art. During this time, Doug created his early serial imagery such as Why Does a Duck Throw? A series of 14 sculptures telling us, like Solomon, that all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Another humorous work of the time is the 14 sculptures spoofing ceramic technical jargon such as pinholing, shivering, and overglaze. The simple techniques used by Doug in building these sculptures gives a childlike joy and appeal to the subjects. I have been blessed to have Doug as a mentor. He has kept in touch and encouraged me on more than one occasion to hang in there. He taught me to make art that pleases me and not worry about the critics. Over the years, I have had the great pleasure of enjoying many wonderful works by Doug. It is with great joy that we welcomed Doug back to Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. We were honored to debut the great Doug Wood Fire School.
A sincere thank you is extended to Douglas Baldwin for lending his artworks to make this exhibition possible. Special acknowledgement is due to the Department of Fine Arts faculty and to Dana Goodman, Chair and Associate Professor of Sculpture, for support of the exhibition and Douglas Baldwin's visit. My many thanks also go to all of the members of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts Dean's Office staff for continued assistance and support, especially Susan Domer, Marketing and Public Relations Specialist, Barbara K. Romines, Business Manager, and Chuck O'Connor, Dean and Professor of Theater. The IPFW Publications staff was extremely helpful, with Leanne Powers providing the poster design and photography assistance provided by James Whitcraft. My continued appreciation to Tony Olin for his proofreading assistance. Lastly, we would like to note that the works for the exhibition were produced by the artist at the Clay Studio of Missoula in Missoula, Montana. My name is Robert F. Schrader, and I'm the curator for the exhibition.